That's annoying. We have these little pieces of the build that take a lot longer than we wish they did. But we're getting it done. We're gonna get that all sanded out, painted today. I'll probably get the manifolds put on there today and start running some of the PEX lines. I meant to bring with me some of the faucets for the bathrooms so that I could put those in, but I forgot. So I'll probably start working on some of the other stuff that I have to do around here. I've got some waste plumbing that has to be done. I got some vents that need to be worked on. Neither one of us is working at warp speed right now because it is a little hot. If you'll notice, you got the outside and the inside temperature right here. And the air's not really moving, so we'll get the fan going as soon as she's done with the vacuum cleaner in there. It'll make it a little bit more comfortable.
So pretty excited. We finally kind of finished this room a bit. We mudded it and sanded it, and now I get to paint. And this is kind of the test room, so I picked a white, and picking a white is actually really difficult because there's so many whites. So this one is Feldspar and it's Swiss coffee, and let's see how this goes. Really excited.
On a hot day like today, Apollo just comes in and plops down on the floor. The coolness of the floor sucks away some of his body heat and helps him get cooled down fast. So far these floors have held up very well to his nails. We're pretty pleased with them.
This might be one of the simplest things that I've done here. All we are doing is putting a metal plate on the stud so that you can't drive a nail or a screw through it. The stud into the pipe. Now, these are pretty cool because you can join them together, but you got to make sure they're actually going to cover up what you need. So sometimes they do. If I were to join these two together, I'd have it right about here, and it might not completely cover up that pipe. And my objective is to protect that pipe. Here. A little crooked, but it covers everything up the way it needs to. Now, I don't have enough in here to do everything. I've got another box of them, and I'm probably gonna go buy a whole case of the things because I have a lot of penetrations that I gotta cover up, both for the pipes and for wires. When you're pinching pennies, there is always gonna be a temptation to just skip over something like that and say, well, you know, they'll see it. They're not gonna drive a nail through it. They're about 50 cents a piece. The cost to rip out a piece of drywall and replace wire or replace pipe is a lot more than that 50 cents adds up to, and the aggravation would be tremendous. Go ahead and armor it up. Do what you got to do. goes here,
Right.
right? Water is all here and across to here.
Yeah, I just need to do the part that you're going to work on the most.
Where I'm going to be working on
is right here.
is here and up across here, up and over.
Okay. So are you drilling more holes into this thing?
I am running it surface mount, running the pipe across here, because this is my mechanical room, and then I'm jumping up over here and going down.
Okay. Oh, that's going to be ugly.
What's that?
Oh, it's going to be
It's a
ugly.
mechanical room. It's supposed to look like that. I'm routing the pipe the way it's supposed to be.
Form versus function is one of our eternal battles here. For mechanicals and appliances, I have a basic appearance that I want to achieve. Then I break the list down by options, features, performance ratings, install complexity, repair frequency and complexity, and total cost of ownership. For Jafana, she falls in love. It's a look, a feeling, a sense of calm that it evokes for her. There's a lot of give and take that has to come into play in order to find that balance between those two. And when you're building something together, it is your job to find it.
I'm going to make sure that that wall's painted 2 coats, and then the rest of it I might have to get a little more paint.
Well, I've used every plate guard that I've got, so I need another box of 100.
Another box of 100 of them?
Yeah, easily.
Okay.
Ordinarily, we have to stop him from running around, but he came up here today, pranced down the hill, came up, laid down on the floor, hadn't been back out. It's miserable today. Well, good morning. Sometimes things go well up here, sometimes they don't go well up here. It was 88 degrees inside the house and a lot hotter outside the house last night. And the heat took me. We had to leave here a little bit early yesterday. I just started getting sick. Jafana was fine. She wanted to work, wanted me to stop being a baby. But I had to go home, rest up, get hydrated, sleep for a couple hours. The weather today is not supposed to get above 80, so quite a blessing. Rained a lot, brought the temperature down. All that water is going to make everything grow like crazy, but that's fine. That's what it's supposed to do. I'm going to take advantage of this cool weather, go inside the house here, open the windows up, because it's still 81 degrees inside the house. Very stable, a lot of thermal mass, which is what we want. Open the windows up, cool it off a little bit, and I'm going to start doing some more plumbing, working on some of the plates that we've got to put in, and hopefully I can work on some of these vent stacks and put a couple of faucets in place.
As frequently happens, when you start to pull the lines, you discover that you need to make some changes, move them a little bit, go further down the wall so that you have the ability to pull some other lines in the area you thought you were going to use. I moved the vanity lines so that I could more easily get the vent stack out.
Alright, I'm getting ready to put these manifolds in. Now, I made my own manifold. I know that via Viego or whatever it is, they make a manifold block for these. I had it drawn out a lot of different ways, and it involved a lot of parts. And I decided I wanted to try and scale it down to as few parts as possible. And actually, I was really pleased with what I came up with. So this is the manifold that's going to run the whole house. Now, I used white for the cold because blue was unavailable. And I used red for the hot, obviously. Now, I could have just cut a piece off of here and used that to make it, but I used what I had. I've got all three hot for the master bathroom get connected here, and there's one turn off that turns all of them off at the same time. So this is open, that's shut. So if I ever need to, I can just come in here. If I have a leak in the master bath, be it the shower or the vanity, I just come in, turn all of it off at the same time, and I'm good to go. So with these, I don't need to cut them and put in a individual valve. Everything else that's coming off of here is going to get an individual valve. So I've got one that's going to the half bath right over here, got one that's going to the tub, and one goes to the kitchen. So all of those are going to get their own turn off valve, but these that are coming right here, they can all be turned off at the same time. Now I dug through my tools and I pulled out my old PEX cutter. This is vastly superior to that cheap little cutter that I picked up the first go around. Now I had some people ask me about this tool. This is a Pex expanding tool. It is used for PEX-a, and I understand there is also a Zern PEX-b. I've never used that. This is all PEX-a. The fittings here are expansion fittings. The internal diameter of the manifold is the same as the internal diameter of the tube, so you don't have any restrictions in flow from the fittings like you do with a lot of the crimp-on PEX-b. Your expansion fitting goes over the properly cut end. You stick your expansion tool in it. It opens it up. After it's all the way in it and it's opened it fully up, you stick it on the fitting and it closes down on it. We want to give it like maybe 3 turns so it has the opportunity to go all the way across it. I was too slow.
And that's how you want to go on your shirt?
Yep.
Okay, I don't want to hear any swearing.
Good luck with that. Here. Alright. After about 5 to 10 seconds, it should have tightened up enough that it won't come off. It's on there pretty snug. And what this will do is continue to tighten as time goes by. It's always going to be trying to return to its original diameter, so it's going to stay tight on this manifold. Now I've got these labeled. I've also marked them with a little bit of red tape so that I know they're hot when I see them. I've got them marked so I know where they go. I'm going to put a better label on them.
So the hot, this is the kitchen, so that's the sink for the kitchen, that's the dishwasher.
So the dishwasher comes off the sink.
Okay,
So you've got the sink, you got the half bath, you got the tub.
Oh, the tub, okay.
Alright, that is on there, ain't coming off. I will mount this to this wall here, just like that. I'll get some mounts that I can get these in here a little tighter and it'll organize it a little bit better, but this will be snug right up there like that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I had to reevaluate the clips that I was using. With a 1/2 inch of drywall and a 1/2 inch of OSB, you're going to need something that can bite into it at least 1 inch deep. Probably 1.5 inches.
I'm just using the steel angle. It's not easy to manipulate that, but we got it done. As I've shown before. Notice it rotates as it goes, so you want to let it run through a couple cycles once it's fully expanded to make sure that it has opened up the pipe properly. goes on there very easily. You just hold it in place and it'll shrink back up in about between 5 and 10 seconds. It's usually done. I'm a little compulsive about these things, so I'll hold it on here a little bit longer. Got the flanged in on the outside. Put it on all the way to the flange. Good to go. Right on there. Well, things ain't gonna go without their mistakes. Because this sits lower, and because we moved the vanity connection over really only about a foot, maybe 2 feet, it stretched it out enough that that line does not comfortably reach to here and back to the vanity. So I'm going to pull this whole line and replace it. And I can assure you I don't want to do this, but I don't really have a choice. Now that other line that I pulled out of there is not going to go to waste. I have multiple shorter lines that have to be run, so I'll probably be able to use that line to do the cold water or the hot water for the tub. I'll measure it out before I try it, but I think it'll probably work, and if not, then I have some others that I can do.
Trying to route and manage the lines is going to take some creativity, no matter what sort of a manifold I use. Space is at a premium, and the more tightly and concise that I'm able to route and manage everything, the better off everything else is going to be in this room.
Battery ran out, but this is what I came up with. I gotta say, pretty darn pleased with the way this turned out. These little tags of blue tape are going to be replaced with proper labels. I just needed to write on everything where all of the lines went. I've got a label maker at home, so I'll fix that. But as I said, I'm very pleased with the way this turned out. I've still got the rest of the lines that need to be run to the kitchen and to the half bath over here, but this is turning out pretty good. Well, that's all I'm doing for today. I got 3 of my kids at my house right now, and my granddaughter's there for a birthday party today, so I've got to go. We'll see y'all next time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. We'll be right here. The line that comes in and attaches it to the water supply is coming from over there, comes straight down here. This hot one comes into here. I put the hot up above because you want the hot to travel as short a distance as possible so it doesn't lose heat.
How are all these going to attach in?
Same way.
They're
coming right over top of these.
Okay.
And if I need to do anything, I can do it over here and then come off the wall. I've got the wall to work with, so
yeah,
everything should be fine.
Can you label these in a wall and have an access panel?
In the wall?
Well, like if you had to repair something, how do
What,
you know
in the
which
ceiling?
line? Yeah, somewhere.
Well, if you have to repair something in the ceiling, the only thing you would have to repair is if you had like a burst line, right? Well, if you have a burst line, you're just going to patch that line. And you fix whatever's leaking, and you're on it. How you feeling, baby?
Hot.
Well, you're always hot. I have a single pipe. God dang, man. That's annoying.